The sands of time are sinking, the dawn of heaven breaks, the summer morn I've sighed for, the fair sweet morn awakes. Dark, dark hath been the midnight, but day spring is at hand, and glory, glory dwelleth in Emmanuel's land. O Christ, he is the fountain, the deep, sweet well of love. The streams on earth I've tasted, more deep I'll drink above. There to an ocean fullness his mercy doth expand, and glory, glory dwelleth in Emmanuel's land. Oh, I am my beloved's, and my beloved's mine. He brings a poor vile sinner into his house of wine. I stand upon his merit, I know no other stand, not even where glory dwelleth in Emmanuel's land. The bride eyes not her garment, but her dear bridegroom's face. I will not gaze at glory, but on my King of grace. Not at the crown he giveth, but on his pierced hand. The Lamb is all the glory of Emmanuel's land. All right. Welcome back to my channel. Taking a look this time at a hymn called "The Sands of Time Are Sinking." You may not be familiar with this one, but I'm glad to be able to introduce it to you if you're not familiar. And this is a little bit of a toughie, so let's get started right away with the details. If you notice, this is the key signature. And you'll notice the treble clef. We call it the G clef because it's on the G line of the music staff, and I think of it as the guitar clef. And you also notice that there is 3 flat cymbals. They look like lowercase b's. There's a trick to knowing which key you're in when you're looking at the flats. So you go to the farthest right and then go back 1. That's on the E line. Remember F-A-C-E from music theory? So that's on the E line, so that means that this is in the key of E flat, the key of E flat. All right. Now with the guitar, with E flat, I have just been playing it in D. What you'd want to do is you'd just put a capo on the 1st fret and then play with the D family of chords, and that'll put you in the key of E flat to play along with a piano player. But with my voice, I almost always sing down a half step from the key that it's originally written in. So Then you have the time signature, 3/4. We're interested in the top number, 3. That's going to tell us what to do with the right hand. So this tells us what to do with the left hand, and this tells us what to do with the right hand. So with 3/4, the top number 3 tells us how many counts per measure. So it's a 3/4 time, actually. Actually, it's not. It's not. Oh, I don't want to go back and record the video again. That's not 3/4, it's 4/4. I was looking at a different video. All right. So I'm not going to go back and record this again. What you get is what you get. So I try to do my best here, but I messed up. So it's 4/4, 4 counts per measure, and that's going to tell us what to do with the right hand. So I have a picking pattern for that. Let me show that to you just quickly. If you are into fingerstyle, this song right here I think will appeal to you. You really can't do it with strumming, I don't think. So what you do is you have your thumb on the D chord, and see if I can zoom in here. You have your thumb on the D chord, and that is, your thumb is on the 4th string. 4th string. And then your index finger is on the 3rd string, your middle finger is on the 2nd, and your, let's see if I can do it this way, and then your ring finger is on the 1st string. So you have your, like that. That's the D chord, your position there. So we call that the home row. So what I'm doing is I'm going thumb, index, and then middle and ring together, or M-A. Thumb, index, M-A. That's that pattern I was using. Thumb, index, M-A. Just try that when you're sitting on the couch and relaxing. Just try to do it over and over again. And then to finish the pattern, you finish with the index on the 3rd string. Thumb, index, M-A together, and then index on that 3rd string. So I like to relax on the couch and practice things that my hands are not familiar with, whether it's the right hand and picking patterns, or it's the left hand and exercises there, or different chord shapes that I'm not exactly hitting accurately. I'll practice them over and over and over again. So that's so this is 1 and 2 and. That's the first 2 counts of the measure. 1 and 2 and. And if I went a full measure, it'd be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. With the, I know this is a little bit tedious, but if you hang in there, I think this will be helpful to you, especially if you're not familiar with fingerstyle guitar. If you have the opportunity, I would suggest that you take a semester or 2 of classical guitar at your local college, or go into a music store if there's still one in your town, and take a year's worth of classical guitar lessons. They'll teach you the right hand and the left hand. They'll teach you correct positioning and chords and chord shapes and things like that, correct fingering with your left hand. It's very helpful, even if you don't want to play classical guitar. I would recommend it. I did 2 semesters of it myself when I was in college, and then I had some private lessons, and I learned more of like a blues style, fingerstyle guitar with alternating thumb bass patterns. So very helpful though. So now the A7 chord, I'll just give you this chord here. If you're doing the right hand, you're going to have your home row, you'll have your thumb on the 5th string, and then your index on the 3rd again, on the 3rd, your middle on the 2nd, and then your ring or the A finger on the first. So the same strings are assigned to those fingers for the A7 chord, but your thumb is just playing on the 5th string now. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so. And then the G chord, here's one where your thumb is going to be assigned to the 6th string. 6. G. And then your index is on the 3rd again. It's pretty much always there, except for some rare cases. So index on the 3rd, middle on the 2nd, ring on the 1st, or A finger. Okay, so that's pretty much the pattern for the whole song. There is a couple of places where it's different. All right, now I'm going to give you the chords, and I recommend that you just grab a hymn book and then take a pencil and write these chords in above the words. I'm going to give you the chords as they are found in the Rejoice hymn book. So I recommend this on my channel. I don't get any money from this company, but this is Rejoice Hymns for guitar and bass. Highly recommend this. It's about $50, or at least it was when I bought it, and they have done a great job putting together the chords that will go along with the piano. So your bass notes on the guitar will not conflict with the bass that's played on the piano with the right hand and any other bass instruments that you may be playing along with. So, all right, let me give you these chords now, and we'll start with the sands of time on the. It's D. The sands of time, A7, time. Sinking is B minor. Now, I thought you might not be familiar with that chord, so we're not as close to the board this time as we normally are, but you'll notice here B minor, that has a bar that you're going to use on the 2nd fret. You're going to bar with your 1st finger. And what that looks like is this. So your thumb is placed behind the neck. That gives you enough gripping power in order to get that bar. And your 1st finger is it's not flat barring all the strings, it's more curved and barring the 5th string and the 1st string. Those are the only ones you really need to cover in this chord. So there's a little tip to help you with your bar chords. Curve your 1st finger, put your thumb behind there to get the strength to be able to push those strings down, and then you put your other fingers where they go. So it's just like an A minor chord, but you're moving that up 2 frets and then barring on the 2nd fret. So that's a B minor. That's on sinking. And you're playing your thumb on the 5th string. And then on sinking, on ing, it's D7 over A. D7 over A. That's a D7 chord with the A in the bass. The A is the 5th string, so that's where your thumb plays. And now the G chord, you're familiar with that, I think. G is over the word dawn. Dawn of heaven, that's a D chord. Breaks, that's A. The summer, that's a D with an F sharp in the bass. That's probably new to you, so let me give you a rundown on that. All right, so here's a D7, or here's a D with the F in the bass. That's the F sharp note in the bass. And then we're going to put our fingers here. We're not going to use the 1st string. We're using the 6th string playing the F sharp bass note, and then the 4th string open, the 3rd and the 2nd. That looks like this. F sharp is played with your 1st finger. This note here is played with your 2nd finger. Start with that. So pretty sound anyways. It's a pretty sound. But there's the D with the F sharp in the bass, and then you're going to put your pinky down here. Your pinky goes on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. And right there, the pattern is thumb, index, middle, and ring together. Thumb, index on the 4th string, and then M-A fingers. Real nice sounding chord. And then, so that's summer. Morn is A7 with an E in the bass. So an A7 over E. Right here you play the 6th string open, that's your E bass note. And then you play these 3 strings together. So the 6th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. Okay, so that's over morn, and then I've side, that's the D chord, side, and then you have, over the word for, you have an E minor with a G in the bass. All right, this is going to be a challenging song, I know, but hang in there. It's a beautiful song. If it's something that you can sing with your congregation, great. It's probably in your songbook. If not, it makes for a great either a special with a solo voice and a guitar, or a special with a duo or trio or more to play together along with a guitar. So now, over the word for is your E minor with a G in the bass. Now that is right here. Okay, so a very easy chord to play. You put a finger up there at the top. I use my 3rd finger. And then you play these 3 strings, 1, 2, and 3, open. And that's an E minor with a G in the bass. So for the fair, that's D with the A in the bass. That's very simple. So just like the D chord, but you play the 5th string as your bass note. And then to A7. So that's that transition is meant to be 2 chords with an A in the bass. I think it's time to have my guitar adjusted. So that's a pedal tone, I believe. Now, that brings us to dark, dark. On dark, dark, you put G over the 2nd dark. Dark, dark. But we're going to play a G bar chord. All right. Now, here's a word about this bar chord. So I have drawn for you a G minor bar chord. You use your 1st finger to make the bar. On this, you're going to have to push down on the 6th string. You still curve your finger, but you push down on the 6th string, and then you're catching these 3 strings with your 1st finger. So you can curve it. You don't really have to worry about those other 2 bass strings. So you still curve it. But for me, I put my knuckle right down on those treble strings, the first 3. That right there is a chord. So that's a G minor. But you want to put these notes in there too. So that is on the 5th fret, on that 5th string, I'm using my ring finger and my pinky right here. So what I'm doing is for a G bar chord, a G major, you'd add this note right here. And that's probably not as easy to see on the camera. But this note right here for a G major, and what I'm doing is I'm taking that and I'm playing that dark, dark G chord, G major bar chord, to a G minor. So I'm lifting up that finger. That's my middle finger that I use for that. So what that sounds like, dark, 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 hath been the midnight, but day, there it is. But dark, dark hath been the midnight. So what that is dark, dark. I'm playing with the thumb and middle together. Dark, dark on the bass note and this note, which is the third, and it makes it sound like a major chord. Dark, dark hath been, so thumb and middle finger together. Dark, dark hath been, dark hath been, and then I'm filling in the rest of it. Dark, dark. So middle, index, thumb, index. Middle, index, thumb, index. And then go on to the D chord. Okay. So dark, dark hath been, G minor, D chord, midnight, but day, G major bar chord, G minor is, and then D chord. All right, we're almost to the end now. But glory, that's D with the F sharp in the bass. Glory, G chord, just a regular. Glory, D with the F sharp in the bass. Dwell, and then A7 with the E in the bass. Lift in Emmanuel's, but glory, glory, dwelleth. Then D over N, E man, that's A7, Manuel's land. All right, I'm sure that was challenging for you. The next time, I'm going to record When the Roll is Called Up Yonder, a totally different sound, different kind of a song, and I'm going to have the steel string guitar for that, and it's much easier for you. So, and then I'm looking at, I don't know, When the Roll is Called Up Yonder, and then maybe Turn Your Eyes Upon Jesus. Those are two that I'm preparing myself for to make some more videos for you. So thank you for all your kind comments and your encouragement to keep doing this. So I hope this is a help to you, and maybe look up a music teacher close to you and take some classical guitar lessons, even if you don't want to learn how to play classical or Spanish style music. All right, God bless you.